Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and a fascinating idea for a puzzle today. It's called Prime Time by James Kopp, who's featured on the channel before a number of times with seasonal and picture sudokus. But this is just an idea, I think, which will be interesting to have a look at. Now, I didn't mention yesterday, because I didn't know about it when I recorded my video, that Simon had done this incredible solve of a tall cat puzzle. So notwithstanding that he's done about 3-hour-long videos, including a 2-hour and 15-minute video actually in the last week, Simon has done another over an hour video solving an incredible puzzle actually by Tall Cat, and it's on Patreon now. So that joins the various things we have on Patreon. There's my crossword a while ago. There's the snake hunt, the cryptic scriptures of the Secret Snake Society, which is absolutely epic, and we've been getting so many correct entries. It's literally mind-boggling. It's so hard to get through that hunt, and hundreds and hundreds of you have done it, got through the whole thing, let alone the half part, which, I mean, it feels like almost all of our patrons are trying it, which is incredible. Thank you so much for joining us and engaging so hard with the puzzles. It's brilliant when we think we've converted people to trying variant sudokus. And yeah, there's been some great stuff there. Now, I jumped the gun a tiny bit yesterday. We hoped to bring you the Fistamafel hunt before Christmas, but there's still some writing to do in that. So I'm sorry about that. I'm not certain if that is going to be before, maybe in Twixtmas, which is betwixt Christmas and New Year's Eve. I don't know quite when it'll come out, but do join us on Patreon, so because it will come out. I mean, with everything tested, I really think it should do. And we're really looking forward to that, but I don't know quite when it is. Now, what else have we got? That'll be on Patreon as well. We've of course got our apps and our merchandise too, so do check it all out. Have yourself a great festive season, but have a look at this puzzle first. Prime Time by James Kopp. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so that's 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every box of the grid. The sum of the digits on a blue line within a particular region must be the same for all of the regions the line passes through. So the sum of those two is the same as the sum of those two, is the same as the sum of those two, is the same as the sum of those two. Different lines may have different sums. Pairs of adjacent numbers on a line must sum to a prime number. So those two must sum to a prime number, and those, and those, and those, and those, which is a weird twist on their equal sum line rule. Cages, well, you'll notice there are no numbers in the cages. Goodness me, no, that would be too kind. The digits in each cage sum to the same total, which is to be determined. So, I mean, my first impression of this puzzle is there is nothing given to us, but I'm sure as we have a look at it and try and figure out how it can possibly work, we will get somewhere. That's certainly the plan. Do give it a try on the link under the video. You can check the video length to see how hard I found it eventually. And I am going to start now. I'm going to restart my clock. Let's get cracking. How the heck do you get cracking with this? I don't think the cages are any use. Not yet. The lines are so... I mean, sometimes you have a length of 3 in a box and a length of 1 in another box, and that gives you a tiny bit of a start. And we don't get that at all. We get a 3 and a 3, a 3 and a 3. This wheel that does 2s in every box, this useless 2 line. Maybe if I insult the lines hard enough, they'll spring to life and tell me what I'm missing. Okay, it's got to be something to do with the fact that adjacent numbers must sum to a prime number. So adjacent numbers are always odd and even. Okay, I'm onto something now. Now, on the wheel, for instance, what it means is that the numbers will alternate, obviously, because every pair of adjacent numbers on this wheel has one odd and one even. So I don't know whether that purple set is odd or whether the green set is odd, but the parities must stay the same between green and purple there. And that's going to help on these little lines that have only one. I can see this now. Okay. I am going to say that these two must add up to an odd number because they obey this rule, that they sum to a prime number. Now, let's be careful. There is a prime number that isn't odd, and that's 2. But that is not relevant on the wheel or here because this can't be a pair of 1s. Therefore, these add up to an odd number. And by the equal sum line rule, that makes this odd. Then by the prime rule, these two add up to an odd total. Because, oh no, hang on. Well, okay, they can't be 1 and 1. They could be by sudoku, but they can't be by the equal sum line rule, because if that's 1, it's the total of those two. So this is in fact even, therefore, and this is odd. And the same is true here. This one is odd because it's the sum of those two which add up to a prime number. That makes this even, so those two add up to a prime number, and that makes this odd. And this works here as well. It's exactly the same as that one. Odd, even, odd. So we've got some actual odds and evens marked, and that hasn't done anything useful like filled a cage, which might tell us the parity of the cage at least, of all the cages. It hasn't affected, as far as I can see yet, this wheel and whether any of the individual cells on that can be odd or even. It doesn't feel like the rule is helpful on this 4 line. It doesn't really feel like it's helpful on this. I mean, these lines could even be, you know, they could have the same digits there as there or not. I suppose they must go odd, even, odd, even, odd, even. Oh no, that doesn't work at all. Ah, my understanding may be flawed here. How can you have 3 odds and 3 evens? Yeah, okay. One thing I know about equal sum lines is if it goes into 2 boxes, the total of the line has to be even because that adds up to x and that adds up to x, and 2x is always even. But I want to put 3 evens and 3 odds on this line, and that is going to add up to an odd number. And these rules are very specific. Yeah. It's there. It's there right in front of me. Okay, how can you reconcile that? How can you reconcile x plus x equals even, and yet odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, which seems to be necessary to make all the consecutive pairs along the lines be prime? How can that possibly work? And the answer is in the exception, the exceptional prime of 1 plus 1, which equals 2, and which can exist on this line there. And that is going to break it up. 1 plus 1 is 2, and that's still a prime. Then these can be even, and these can be odd. And isn't that beautiful? Now we've got a line with 4 odds and 2 evens, and it can add up to 2x. And these are 1s. And we actually get digits in the grid that I thought we wouldn't get for, well, dozens of minutes. This line's exactly the same, isn't it? I mean, it just is. So we get 1s there. We can mark these all as odd. Those are even. And we've filled a cage, so we know the cages add to an even total, because that's a double odd. So that's even. The cages, to add to an even total, they're all either double odd or double even. And look, we can fill in, okay, I can't do the colours there. I can do that. Ah, sudoku. With 4 digits in the grid, I get to do some sudoku. That's lovely. Look, 1 and 1 there. Where does 1 go and 1 there. Where does 1 go in row 5? Goes into this cage, so it's double odd and includes a 1. That's funny. So in fact, these 3 cages all have exactly the same constituent members. Ah, okay, so that digit, let's flash it, is the same as, well, the same as whatever the other odd digit in that cage is, because these cages add to the same total. And then where does that yellow flash digit go in row 6? It's got to be here. That's intriguing. Oh, what a puzzle. This is one of those puzzles that is so hard that it's not that hard. What the heck am I talking about there? How can it be so hard that it's not that hard? That happens when there is so little to go on that you can kind of, you're forced down the logical path to see what you have to see. Honestly, if James had put in more lines and arrows and thermos and a bit of obfuscation, I wouldn't have known where to look for this answer. I mean, not that I've got very far, but I've understood something about the puzzle, and that feels like a huge step forward. It's also going to be a 1 in one of those cells. Now, I still don't know what green and purple are, unless maybe there is some counting I can do. I've got 4 orange cells in this line, so that in this column. So that's all the odds in this column. No, it's not. There are 5 odds. Knowledge bomb there. I want to find 4 blues somewhere, but even in this row, I've only got 3. One of those is blue and one of those is not. I don't know. I suppose I haven't started to think about the actual numbers on lines like this, but oh, something's frozen now. This is not good. Wow, okay, I don't know what's happened here. Something on the screen has frozen. I'm just going to click something else and then come back. No, my whole puzzle thing has frozen. Am I still recording? Looks like I am. Okay, I will be back with you in a minute. Wow, no, it's just gone down. Right, hopefully that just fixes the browser problem, just off and on again. Okay, was I thinking about anything in particular? No, I wasn't. I was just trying to work out where we go next. Oh, the numbers. Yes, I was going to say that, well, I mean, I suppose you can't put an 8 here because 1 plus 8 would be 9, which is not prime, but unfortunately 3, 5 and 7, all of these, there are so many prime numbers in the ones up to 17. You've got all of 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17. The only odds that you don't have there are 9 and 15, and that doesn't seem like a recipe for pencil marking at all to me. I mean, I suppose those are 2, 4 or 6 as well. I don't know what to do next. Now, come on, linear puzzle with no clues. Show me what to do next. It's weird, isn't it? How can you keep going with this? Okay, that's a pair. Oh, right, that adds up to... What is this cage total? It's at least 3 plus 5, according to this. But it's 1 plus an odd number, according to this. So the cage total is either 8 or 10. And all of these that... Well, the yellow flash is either 7 or 9. And all the cells in the cages with a 1, a 7 or 9, and this is either 3, 5 or 3, 7. So there's definitely a 3 there. I mean, looking at that combo's just no use. Yes, 2, 7 is ruled out, and 6, 3 and 4, 5, but there must still be 6 other combinations that are perfectly fine. That doesn't seem helpful. Maybe I can use... Oh, and this pair is either 8, it could be 2, 6. If it's 8, it would be 2, 6. That would be helpful. 8 would be the helpful total, but it could easily be a total of 10, in which case that's 2, 6. Sorry, 2, 8 or 4, 6, and we're not much further forward. Now, this is 7 or 9 for these two cells. So this one... No, it could even be 8. I was going to say it's 2, 4 or 6. I don't know. The total of this row? You see, you might think that if this row has to total the same as this row, that we can fill in 7 or 9 here. But that's not necessarily true. Because, for instance, this could go 1, 4, 7, this could go 1, 6, 5. I think this could go down to as low as 3. Now, this one isn't a 1. So that's 3, 5 or 7, plus that digit gets us a bigger odd number, which is 5, 7 or 9. I'm still struggling with this. That is 9 or 7. That has to be a lower odd number. I mean, great. No, it could be 1. That's just not worth it. Oh, crumbs. This is an odd pair. This is like that because it can't have a 1 in it. So it's... No, it's not necessarily an odd pair. It could be an even pair. Ah! Why did I suddenly think green was odd? Don't know. What on earth are we meant to do with this puzzle? I suppose that is now 2, 4 or 6 as well, to be the difference between those. Now, do we have to think about these actual totals of those two? There must be 6 combinations. 2, 7 is not allowed, and 6, 9 is not allowed. Ah, these two. No, I don't know. They could be the same or they could be different. Could they? No, the yellow flash applies... Sorry, no, that is the same. That's interesting. This is the same as this because of where it appears by sudoku. But it's the same as that because they're in the cages that have the same total. So these two are the same. Where does the yellow flash digit go? Goodness only knows. But does that mean anything for this line? Right, that yellow digit cannot be here. What does that tell us? I don't think it tells us anything. If that's a 9, this can be 2 or 4. Ah, okay. It tells me this. Those two are now different digits. No, I don't know if... Yes, I think that conclusion is sound. Because if they were the same, these groups of cells would have to add up to the same. And if those two were the same and those two were the same, these two would have to be the same, and they can't be. So those two are different. I mean, it's the most minor conclusion possible. What on earth use is that? Nothing. I don't have any ways of telling if any of these are the same as far as I know. Got to get something going on this wheel. If 1 and the yellow digit are up here, 1 is there and the yellow digit is in one of those cells. It's useless. What on earth am I meant to be thinking about? I was going to say this couldn't be as many as 8, but actually it can be, so that's not true. Greens and purples, what are they doing? That can still be a 1. I haven't got a triple or anything. No, not yet. Oh my goodness. Okay. Surely this puzzle is going to tell me something soon. Okay, I mean, thinking about this got me somewhere, but partly because those have to be the same. I don't think we have any of the same issues here. Neither of these can be the yellow flash digit. But they could be the same this time. Now, what's going on? If that was a 7, that seems the less likely candidate. That would be a 7. The cages would add up to 8. So that would have to be a 2-6 pair. That would be a 4. That has to be different from this, which would be a 6. So this would go 1, 6, 7, and this would go 1, 4, 9. And that does seem to work, which is a shame, because if I could have fractured that somehow, I'd have felt we'd got somewhere. Okay, is there any reason to think this can't be a 9? It would then have to be in one of those two positions. The cage would add up to 10, which leaves 2 possibilities there. But this would be 4 or 2, because it couldn't be a 6. You couldn't have 6, 9. So the line would add up to 12 or 14. Now, if this is a 9, and this line's adding up to 12 or 14, can't have a 2 there, because it would be 1, 2, 9, but that would clash with the 9. It could be 1, 4, 7, 11, 5, 2. This would have to be 1, 2, 9, because remember these are different. 7, 4, 1, 1, 2, 9. With a 4 there, this would be a 2, 8 pair. I can't see what you can do here. Okay, where did I get to? If that can't be a 6. So if this is a 9, this is 2 or 4. And if it's 2, this goes something like 1, 6, 5. I mean, I can't rule that out. I don't see why it doesn't. Is it this line? Do I need to think about the wheel and what can be on it? Ah. There are no 1s on the wheel. That's quite interesting. Look, all of these 1s that we've got in various ways rule out the positions of 1s anywhere on the wheel. And on this bit of the wheel, there's no 3 because there's a 3 in one of those cells. So the equal sum line part is at least a 5 plus an even digit. I don't know, how does that help? I don't think it helps at all. I'm not thinking of the right thing. What's going on in this puzzle? I thought we'd kind of made a breakthrough, but I haven't got very far. So if this is a 9, it doesn't necessarily put a 9 on the wheel, which might be a little helpful. I mean, the real problem with the wheel is that all the prime combinations are possible. There's no reason to suppose any of them aren't. Now, if that's 1, 9, and if this was odd, which is a nested if statement that I don't want to be making, but it would be 3, 7. If it's 1, 7, it would be 3, 5. So if this is an odd pair in green, it's got a 3 in it. If it's an even pair, it's either 2, 6 or it adds up to 10, and then it could use any of the even digits. Ah, I'm totally stuck. Right, let's think about this one again. What's going on with this line? This just seems less constrained than the other, which is irritating. One of those is odd and one is even. That just doesn't do anything, does it? I mean, this line has to alternate in parity all the way because there's no double 1 on this one. Does that mean anything? I don't think so. Well, I mean, it means there's an odd and an even here. So there will now be 3 odds and 2 evens in the box. Odd and even here. Ugh, I don't think it does anything at all. Maybe the possibilities are more limited than I've realised here. Okay, if this is a 7, this couldn't be a 2, actually. So it could go 7, 4, 3 or 7, 6, 1. If it's a 9... Oh, it can't be a 9, you numpty man. It can't be a 9 because that makes those 2 digits add up to 9 and they're not allowed to add up to a non-prime. Honestly, the numpty man finally strikes. 7 goes in there. Got a 1, 7 pair. And then it adds up to 8. That's a helpful total. 2 and 6 that side. That's a 4. Now, what about this? It can't be a 2 because of the 7. And it can't be a 4 because they had to be different. Aha! So, the line now adds up to 14. This one needs a 9 to do it. And we'll just check this line. 13, 5, 2, 7, 13. Yes, that is all good. This is not a 7. And that's the small bit. That doesn't fix much else. Oh, this can't be 9 as well. It's exactly the same dealio as the other one. So this can't be 6 anymore. This can't be 9 either. And now it can't be 7. That is 5 or 3. So this is not 6. That is 2. This is 1 or 3. And one of those two is a 3. 3, 5, and 8 still to place. Now, do we know anything more about this? 5, 2, 3 works. 7, 2, 5 doesn't work. Ah, this can never be a 5 because that would put a 2 here and a 7 here and they add up to 9. So that's a 3. And I can't finish those because 3, 2, 5 does work and 3, 4, 7 does work. But we've now got a 5, 8 pair here. Now, what do we know about green and purple now? Has anything changed? That's not 7 or 3. Aha, that's a 5, that's a 3. Hang on, let's keep doing Sudoku. Now, this can't be a 4 with that 5. So the line now adds up to 8 or 12, as this one must do. Oh, 7 there, hang on, let's keep going. We can't put a 2 here because they'd add up to 9. So that's 3 or 5, but it can't. This can't be a 4 because, hang on, it's not 3 or 5, it's even. 6, 4, or 2, but it can't be a 2. Right, it's 4 or 6. And this either goes 4-3 or 6-1. Okay, so I don't know the answer, but I have narrowed it down again. 7-3-1-5. Okay, come on. There's a 3 by Sudoku in this. So now we know what the colours mean. Green is odd. Orange, purple is now blue. Purple is even. Right. So this adds up to 8. It's a 3-5 pair. Ooh, does that do anything? This is 2, 4, or 8. What? We've got to make equal sum line numbers that are primes within the boxes, and then across the boxes we've just got to make primes. That's so weird. It's so it's hard to keep in mind what one is doing. Now if this was odd, it would be a 9, because that's the only odd left. Now that would have to be with an 8 here, because it would have to make a prime number. And then this pair would have to add up to 17, but the 9 has been used in that cage. Excellent. So that is a 5 to allow that to be even, and that will be odd, and that will be even. And the 5 goes with some, well, it doesn't go with 4, because that would make 9. This can obviously be another 5, because that can be the same as that. It can't be 1 or 9. Can it be 3 or 7? This is also 2, 6, 8. Now, if it was 3, this would be 2 bigger than this. They'd have to be 8 and 6, but 3 and 6 make 9. This can't be 3. Can it be 7? Then this would be 2 smaller than this to make these pairs work. This would be 6, and that would be 8, and 7 and 8 make 15. That's utterly beautiful. So it can't be 3 or 7. It is 5. And I mean, okay, that's a beautiful 5 to get. It doesn't actually resolve what these are at all, because these can now add up to 7, 11, or 13. It does mean they're the same. Actually, let's get rid of the yellow, because we've used that effectively. So these 2 purples are the same. That is an 8, by the way. I've only just spotted that. But annoyingly, whichever of those they are going to fit up here, so that doesn't mean anything. Okay, 1, 6, 7, 3, 5. Now, I just feel like we're getting somewhere finally. I haven't really got much done on the wheel still. And therefore, for some perverse reason, I'm looking everywhere else in the puzzle. Can't help it. It's what I do. Maybe there's some Sudoku. 7, 7. One of those is a 7. What can we do on this? Is 3, 5, or 9. Ooh, if that was 9, it would be a long way away from this digit. What would happen if that was 9? This would be 4 or 6 less than that. There's still possibilities, annoyingly. 9, 2, 3, 8, I think, could work through there. That's annoying. So it could be a 9. Oh, that's a bit more interesting. If it's 3 or 5, it's the same as that digit, because it's not the same as that digit. In that case, these have to be the same to keep the addition the same. Then the third one of those would be there. That does work as well. This is 7 or 9, because it sees 3, 1, and 5. I should not forget that there is just Sudoku to do still. And we've got more digits than we had earlier. Whatever this is in one of those 2 positions. This would be, it would be hard for this to be 8 now, wouldn't it? No, actually it wouldn't. That would be all right, because it would make a big total there. I was thinking that this total would be, well, it would actually be 17. If that's an 8, that has to be a 9. But that's fine. It doesn't matter if that's a big total, because it's these totals that matter. In fact, if it's low, the only way this could be 2, this can't be 2, because those will only add up to 5 or 7, and that's already broken on this. So that's not 2. If it's 4, it's only by virtue of going 5, 4, and that adds up to 9. That's not possible. So it's not 4. This is 8. Rather than proving it's not 8, I've proved it is. 11 or 13 with that. So that is the total, 11 or 13. That still leaves a lot of possibilities. It doesn't allow this to be 7, though, because that would make those add up to 15, not a prime. 9 in row, column 4 is there now. These are both even as a result. That is not the colour for even. There we go. This one is odd, obviously. Now, the total is either 11 or 13, so this is a 2 or a 4. The total here is 11 or... there's still a lot of choice. This can't be 7, 1 or 5. That is 3 or 9. And the total is 11 or 13. Well, if it's a 3, the total is 11, and that's an 8. If it's 13, hang on. If it's 9, yes, the total is either 11 or 13. So if it's 3, that's an 8. Oh, but if it's 9, oh, well, that's 2 or 4, but it can't be 4 by sudoku. So that is 2 or 8. I want to know if the total is 11 or 13. Why won't the puzzle tell me? Oh, look, these are 2, 4, 9 now. And that's a triple in that column, and now that's a 6. Okay, let's go back to this line. Adds up to 12. 11, 7, 2. Now, on the other line, that couldn't have been another 6. On this line, it could be. These add up to 11. They're not 8, 3. They're not 4, 7 because of that. So they're either 6, 5 or 2, 9. Oh, and down this column we can put 8 in at the bottom. That's going to put an 8 in one of those cells. This is not 8, this purpley digit. It's now 2 or 6. 7, 5, 3, 9, 8. In fact, where does 6 go in the box? It goes in the purpley digit. There we go. Right. So this is a 2, 4, 8 triple. That's how I should have seen that. These are from 1, 2, 4. And there's a 9 in one of those cells by sudoku. I just need to get this wheel done, and then I'm running for home, surely. So we've either got a total of 11 or 13. We're down to very little. So this box is 9, 2. It can't be 5, 6. Oh, but it's 11 or 13. Oh, phooey. I mean, all of 2, 4 and 8 seem possible there, which is very annoying indeed. 6 has to be in one of those 2 cells by... 6 in... Is that right? 6 in this box is fixed. Yes, there we go. Should have been able to see that. We get a 6 up at the top of the grid. Ooh, 6 is a little X-wing on this side now. Probably doesn't do anything else with any other numbers. 5's interesting. I don't know. I can't quite see it. 9, 4, 1, 5, 6, 2, 7, 8, 3 here. I didn't think this puzzle would cause problems like this all the way through. That's either 2, 9 or 5, 6. Now, if it's 6, 5, that's a 3. And that's a 1. Seems all right. Seems just about possible. I'm probably just missing some Sudoku now. Come on, let's have a look at the rows and columns. Do some ordinary stuff. 9, 1. It's a very clever puzzle. It really messes with your head, which is a high compliment. I don't know. I'm not seeing what I'm missing, which is an absolutely fatuous statement and entirely obvious, but I can't see what area what I'm missing is in. It's maybe a more accurate statement of what I'm trying to convey there. One of these must be a 2. That's just not interesting, is it? I've got to come up with something on these, on the wheel. Is there a pair there that's impossible? There's too many options here. Now earlier we were saying that, if it was 3 or 5, is the same as that. Therefore that would have to be 8. Still true. If that was 9, this is 1 less than that. Then they couldn't be 4 and 5 because that would form a pair, right? So if this is 9, that's 2 and that's 3. So I don't think this can ever be a 4. It either forms 4, 5, which is 9, it makes 7, which is too little, or it makes 4, 9, which forms a 4, 5 here. So that can never be 4. That is quite hard to find and probably does nothing itself, but it's there, it's available. If that was 2, that's a 2. Come on, what does it do to have a 2? I don't know what to do. There is a 3 in one of those cells, so 3 can't be anywhere there. Not interesting. $13 or $11. What is the total of this wheel? Oh no, this can't make 13. Have I got this right up here? It can't be 9, 4 because of that. This has to add up to 11. Numpty man strikes again, but he at last sees through his desperate slowness. Wow, what is wrong with me today? Blaming it on the illness. 11 is the total. 11 or 5, 11 or 5. Yeah, okay, I can't do the rest, but I got a 3 here. 5 in this row is now in one of those positions, and that's huge because neither of these can be a 5. So I think that's going to get us some way towards a finish actually. 12 there to make this line add up to the same as that. Those can't have a 2, they are a 4-9 pair. That can't be a 2. We need to make the 11 sum. There we go. 9 and 4 can be filled in row 4. That's a 6, that's a 5, that's an 8. 2, 4, 5 here. There's a couple of non-possibilities there. Still haven't done this. Okay, a tiny bit of the wheel to finish off. Oh, the 6, right, the 6 X-wing is done, and that does finish off the line up there. Is that all 6s in the grid done? Yes. All 1s? No, but that's a good thing to look at. I think that's all 1s done now, once I do that one. 5, 6, 2, 4, 1. So there's an 8 that side, there's a 9 this side. I know where the 9 is now. That's 3 or 7. Okay, I'm going to get rid of colouring now because I don't need it anymore. There we go. I'm just doing Sudoku now, and I'm a bit happier with that. I've just got that left to determine. 2, 3, and 4 down this column. Not sure. Oh, that's 5 or 7 by Sudoku. Excellent. So that's 3, that's 4. 8, 7 pair here, 2, 3 pair below it. That fixes the wheel. 8, 3 in the top left corner. Can't still do the 5, 7 pair, but I can do this 3, 2 pair. This one, yes, I can do that by getting the 5 there. This is a 9. 8, 4, 5 in the row. The 8 must go there. That's a naked 4. That gets me the rest of, well, that gets me everything. We're done. And that is a brilliant puzzle, James. Very clever idea. Very clever idea. Very impressive execution. That is always the mark of James's puzzles, is it's not just the idea. The way he executes it is brilliant. And that's top class. Very interesting, very complex. Okay, if I hadn't had the 2 numpty moments, I would have been 10, 15 minutes faster. But there you go. Sometimes these things happen. I'm not that ashamed, I'm afraid. Anyway, thanks for watching and hope to see you again soon on the channel. Bye for now.